Welcome to the Crack House Chronicles True Crime Podcast. I am Donnie, and with me is a man that wants everyone to know that 3 beers can erase 8 hours of frustration in 15 minutes. And that's all the math you need to know.
You said that right.
That's Dale.
It's a good advertiser anyway.
That's your kind of math, ain't it?
That's right.
Hey, what's going on, dude?
Yeah, I don't math. What's happening?
Hey, I'm good. How are you, bud?
Oh, excellent.
Excellent. Oh, man.
Been a good day.
It's been a real good day.
Yeah.
Because tomorrow's Friday.
Uh-huh.
We record these on Thursday. I don't know if anybody knows that or not, but we record on Thursday.
We do.
And drop them on Monday.
We drop them.
Yeah.
In between Thursday and Monday, you make a lot of magic happen.
I do some work. Nah. People only you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not one take Johnson, is it?
No.
Well, actually it is. It's just a whole lot of sawing goes in between.
Yeah.
Like handyman work.
A lot of cutting out and splicing and stuff.
Don't give it all away.
No, but we make it work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you make it work. I just make colorful photos.
You do the work. What's going on? You got any good shout outs or anything anybody want to mention before we get started?
Yeah, let's do that, man. We got a Apple Podcast 5-star hero today.
Apple Podcast.
Yeah, J Color 3. Said they came for the local stories and they stayed for the dad jokes.
Dad jokes.
Are we dad joking?
Yeah, I've been told we do dad jokes.
I'm a dad, so
yeah.
And we're one of her favorites, so we appreciate you jumping on and give us a 5-star. And anybody else who does, we appreciate it greatly.
We do appreciate it.
We got an awesome. I just want to give a shout out to our buddy Antti in Finland, man. He sent us a killer video message the other day, and it was just awesome.
Oh yeah,
dude, I really appreciate that.
Yeah, we hadn't responded to it, Antti, but
we're going to.
Yeah, we'll send you a video back.
Yeah, that was really killer. Thanks so much, man. Made my day.
That made my day.
All right, man. And, okay, we got a few. I'm gonna jump over to YouTube, and we got a couple comments there that I'd like to throw out. You know, our buddy D Boy, he just said that he had to stop during episode 109, the extra large pizza murder, and order a pizza.
Right in the middle of it.
Right in the middle of it.
Glad we could fling that craving on you.
That's right. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And we got a message from Ryan Sipler. Said he loved us doing some obscure cases, and thought it was pretty cool.
Are we obscure?
We can be.
Obscure cases?
Yeah, we'll just find one nobody knows about.
Mm.
One of these days, we'll just make one up and nobody will know, and then when it's in, we'll go, ta-da, we killed.
Yeah.
We'll do a full show like that.
Okay.
Y'all forget about then.
Yeah.
And one more. We had thanks to Gish, Gish, who simply put up the 704 and a couple of hearts for our area code.
Ain't that just special?
That was awesome.
That is. Cool.
It was. Warms them to cockles.
Yeah. If anybody wants to get a shout out or anything, just go to Apple Podcasts and leave a 5-star and write a review in the box, because you got to write a review in the box for it to show up.
Yeah, at least that way we'll know who it is.
Yeah.
You know, it'll tell us, there'll be another number with a 5-star, but if you type something in the box, it'll actually tell us who it is. So.
Yes, it'll show up at the bottom. It'll be the most current.
That way we can shout you out.
Yes, and we'll be glad to do it.
Yeah, and we don't even charge for it, that or nothing, Anyway.
But the Apple Podcast you talked about a little bit ago, that's lady that works with my wife, and I sent her some stickers and whatnots and some goodies. Cool. Oh, yeah. So, yeah.
Well, ain't that sweet?
Yeah, she says we're one of her favorites.
Well.
Yeah, I know a couple other podcasts you listen to, so I think we're better than them. So.
Yeah. Well, we're better than everybody.
Yeah, we are.
We're the best one out of this basement anyway.
Yeah, that's right. With nothing else, we're going to get going, bud.
Now let's roll.
And I'm just going to say, if you're not pissed off and you want to be pissed off, you'll be pissed off after this episode.
Don't even get me started.
Oh, me and Dale's been researching for this case, and he said, this makes me so
damn mad.
Yeah. It is messed up.
Yeah, I told him earlier, I said, we don't never do trigger warnings because, you know what you're going to get when you come in here. But
it's true crime. It's all a trigger warning.
But we might today, just for the curse words that might be coming out of here lately.
Yeah.
I might be coming in like a storm because this really pisses me off.
No, it pissed him off bad.
I've been mad all day.
All right.
Good thing I had them 3 beers.
Yeah, we're going to get started with this, and this is the case of Candace Hiltz. And Candace, she was born on December the 22nd, 1988. Almost a Christmas baby.
Mm-hmm.
In Canyon City, Colorado. And this is in the county of Fremont.
Well.
Yeah. And she was, like I said, she was a Christmas baby, and she was born into a family with a lot of kids.
Mm-hmm.
She had several brothers and sisters.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah, a lot.
And she was so much of a Christmas baby. When they brought her home from the hospital, they actually put her under the Christmas tree.
Well,
Gently laid her down so that the other siblings would know they got a new sister for Christmas.
oh,
How about that?
That's very cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Now, when Candace was 5 years old, her father passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very sad. And Candace just barely had a memory of him. Because,
Yeah.
I guess at that age, you remember certain things and some things you don't.
I never did see what happened to him.
No, I never did either.
So I guess, it's kind of relevant to the story, but I was, me, I'm nosy.
Man, yeah, I'd like to know. It'd be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But anyway, by the age 11, now get this.
Yeah, she's a real child prodigy.
Very, very smart kid.
Brilliant.
By the age 11, she was doing calculus.
11?
11 years old.
Hell, I can't even spell calculus.
No, I can't either.
I don't even know what it is. But she was doing it by 11.
Yeah, I failed
That's amazing.
math because I couldn't spell calculus in English. But yeah, she was doing calculus by the age of 11. And she was also described by her friends as a tomboy. Because I guess she had a lot of brothers, so she had to...
She didn't have much choice.
Yeah, she was raised up by the rough hairs.
Yeah, and said, she was also involved in bodybuilding at some point, so I figure my guess is they probably had a weight bench or something laying around there with all them guys there.
Yeah. Candace was only 5'2" at the time of her murder, which, it's a little bit of spoiler alert, but
Golly, Donnie.
But she was described as being strong and had a subtle feminine side, and she had an eye for jewelry, and she liked necklaces with round beads.
Yeah, that was her specialty.
Yeah. And she was even quoted as saying, from her friends even saying that she was funny, intelligent, headstrong, and fierce as they come.
Yeah.
And she would stand up for anyone who was bullied or mistreated.
Yeah, she was short in stature, but she didn't take no shit.
Yeah.
She protected all of her friends and anybody around her.
Yeah, and her brothers, too. She really looked up to her brothers.
Yeah.
Yep. And her mom was Dolores Hiltz, and she would even later say that, she stood up for people on the bus and had no patience for bullies. That's what her mama said.
That's right.
And she would even point to her necklace and say that she has more balls and bigger balls than any of her brothers.
I'm sure they like that.
Well, yeah. And she had a dream of becoming a lawyer.
She wanted to be a Supreme Court justice.
Yes.
In the end.
But get this. Now, she was so smart. By the age of 17, Dale, she was already in her third year of college at Brigham Young University.
Yeah. College.
Yeah. I mean, she'd skip grades.
Yep. So far ahead, yeah.
That's crazy, man.
But at 16, some things had changed for her.
Yeah. 16, she got pregnant.
Yeah.
And it changed her life quite a bit, but she was bound and determined to stay focused on her studies.
Right. Well, she said she was willing to put off her education for a little bit, and even if she was to take a few years off, hell, when she went back, she would still be the same, it basically would put her back with her age group, but she decided not to do that, and I think she went to taking online classes.
Yeah, through Brigham Young.
Yeah.
And she had even been accepted to Stanford Law.
Yeah.
That's very, very prestigious.
That's big time,
yeah. But yeah, she was on her way to achieving her goal as becoming Supreme Court Justice. But she gave birth to a little girl named Paige in September of 2005. But Paige was born with hydrocephalus. And I looked this up, and it is an abnormal buildup of cerebral spinal fluid on the brain, and this can lead to developmental delays, brain damage, and even death. Yeah. And they told her that the prognosis of Paige would...
She's probably not going to live long.
No, probably not. But she would spend every waking hour with Paige, making the most of it.
Yeah, they didn't think she would make it long at all, actually.
Candace, she had an older brother named James.
Yeah, well, one of them, I guess.
Yeah, one of them. She had a lot of brothers.
There's not really a lot out there about any of the rest of the siblings except for James, is there?
Now, I did do a little snooping today on Candace's mom's Facebook page, and I did see some of her friends that were some of Candace's brothers.
Okay.
And I did see some of their pictures, but, I don't know how many she had and how many have Facebook accounts. So,
right.
Yeah, it's just hard to tell, but, just doing a little snooping, see who's who and what's what.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But like I said, Candace had an older brother, and his name was James. And he suffered from several psychological issues.
Yeah, it's some serious stuff.
Yeah. And it was some severe paranoia. And he would get paranoid when he was around people.
Yeah, he didn't want to be around people.
Not at all.
No. You know, and his mom even said that he didn't believe that she was his mom, that somebody had taken her place.
Yeah, she'd been replaced by another woman.
Yeah. But anyway, he didn't live in the house. Right.
He actually lived in a tent in the woods behind the house.
Right.
Because of this.
You know, and she said, when people weren't home, sometimes he would come in the house and go in and get him food and some stuff like that. But he was just basically living a transient lifestyle, and that's what he liked. That's basically all he could do is with his condition. He definitely wasn't working a job if he couldn't, interact with anybody else.
But yeah, him doing that, I mean, it worked for him.
Right. Oh yeah.
Yeah. But Candace, she was very protective of James and defensive of negative.
Of anything said about him.
Yeah.
Like, taking it for the underdog. That was her gimmick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, now we're going to move to August the 10th of 2006.
Alrighty.
And this is when Fremont... All right, Dale's getting pissed off. All right, now this is when the Fremont County Sheriff's Deputy, Robert Dodd, he came to the Hiltz home. And he was looking for James to question him about a trespassing incident. And he spoke to Candace's mother, Dolores.
Mm-hmm.
And Candace was there sort of listening in on some of this. And Candace, she got angry with some of Officer Dodd's questioning.
Well, his tone and his demeanor and the way he was, probably just the way he was talking down to him.
Condescending, very condescending.
Deputy Dodd.
Yeah. And Candace couldn't take any more of this. And she got to shouting at Officer Dodd.
Yeah, you can't talk to her like that.
Yeah, you can't do this. I mean, that's the way Candace was. She stuck up for people.
Right.
Officer Dodd told her if he kept it up, he was going to arrest her.
Yeah, what the hell was he going to arrest her for?
Really?
You in my house.
I think he was just trying to scare her.
Yeah.
Her being a young kid, maybe.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm brilliant. It doesn't work.
Yeah. But Candace, it was reported by her mom later that she held up her wrist and told him to go ahead and arrest her.
Yeah, go ahead and do it then.
Yeah. And she'd even told Officer Dodd that she had seen him around town and had witnessed him accepting envelopes from some known drug dealers in that area.
Said, if you want to arrest me, that's fine. You go ahead and do it, and I'll be glad to tell everybody at the sheriff's office all about it.
Yeah, take me down there and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, let's roll.
Yeah. But it was about this point when Officer Dodd, he got very aggravated.
Agitated and pissed off.
And stormed out of the house.
Yeah, now, right there, think about that. How many times, in any situation, and being law enforcement, I'm sure they get hammered with all kind of everything, people calling them names and telling them this and hollering. If it wasn't something to it, why would he get pissed off and just leave? Right in the middle of, question. He came over to question him about, the trespassing. So then she says a few words to him, and he gets so upset and pissed off that he leaves.
Yeah.
That don't even make sense.
She must have struck a nerve.
Yeah. So, I mean, if it wasn't true, what the hell? What do you tell them all you want?
Because these officers, man, they're through with all kinds of stuff said to them.
Oh, yeah.
And you just have to let it wash off of you.
Right.
Bounce all right off. But it struck a nerve, I believe.
Yeah, Deputy Dodd got pissed off.
Now, they lived out in the country. From everything I read, they lived out in the country.
Yeah.
And they had a dog that stayed outside. That dog's name was Jackson. And it was about this time, shortly after the encounter with Officer Dodd, that Jackson went missing.
Right.
And there was even a neighbor that had told him that maybe he just went out on an adventure and be back in a few days.
Either that or maybe a mountain lion grabbed him, but who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know much about that country, but that's what I had heard.
Yeah.
It was possible, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But Candace kind of got pissed off about this because she's just thinking back to that altercation with Deputy Dodd.
Yeah.
And she thinks he had something to do with it. Yeah, she went down to the sheriff's department and had an altercation with him.
Yeah, got into it about the dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that really made him happy.
Mm-mm.
So she's just stirring shit up now.
Yeah.
But, who knows what happened,
But they said, dogs disappearing isn't an uncommon occurrence when you live out in the woods like that.
Right.
Or live, out in the country. So the family wanted to know what happened. They searched around, and they weren't too overly concerned at this point that the dog might return. the family thought that something had happened to the dog.
Yeah, it's, that'll get you, man. My dogs, we had 3 dogs, and one day they just took off and was gone for, it was several days before they came back. So it's pretty heart-wrenching,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Especially when you don't have no clue what happened,
All right, Dale. Now, it was just a few days after this incident that Candace went to the sheriff's office about the dog.
Yeah.
Dolores had to run some errands in town with a friend.
Yeah.
And she really was kind of concerned of leaving Candace at home. She didn't, especially that altercation with Officer Dodd.
Yeah, and the dog disappearing.
Yeah.
Some kind of stuff going on.
And plus, Candace being there with her 11-month-old daughter, Paige.
Mm-hmm.
So she, kind of felt uneasy about it, but she did go and spend a few hours running some errands.
Well, plus it was noon, so it's not like it's dark or middle of the night or anything. So.
Middle of the day.
Yeah.
But to get rid of these feelings of something weird going on, Dolores is reported. Now, it ain't confirmed.
Yeah, while she was out shopping, she just kept getting this weird, strange feeling.
Yeah. And it is reported that she had a friend or spoke to a friend and requested them to check in on Candace while she was gone.
See, that bugs me. Why would she just call the house?
Yeah. I mean, you act like, just call the house. I don't understand that.
Yeah, and then by this time, everybody pretty much got cell phones too. So
now, right here, let me just say this: that in researching this case, Dale and I, we found a bunch of discrepancies in stories.
Dual timelines.
Yeah, things happening, things not happening, things happening in a different way, and it's just really weird.
Mm-hmm.
But
so we'll try to give you both, but keep you on track with each other.
But Dolores did want the neighbor to check in on Candace while she was gone. One of the events, according to one of the timelines, the family friend, the son of a neighbor, showed up at the home to check in on Candace, but did not find her. Instead, he found an empty house, and Paige was screaming and crying in her crib.
And this part of the story I don't buy. But
Yeah.
You go right ahead.
Yeah, because we'll explain that a little bit later.
Yeah.
But there was no sign of Candace in the house, and he even described that he would wait there for Dolores to return home so he could explain what was going on. And according to Dolores, she arrived home from her errands around 3:30 p.m. And when she got in the house, she could hear her granddaughter Paige screaming and crying.
Yeah, and there was pools of blood all over the house and spatter like on the walls and around. And
pulled up.
But no Candace.
No sign of Candace. But Dolores rushed to the bedroom to get
Paige.
Yeah, screaming.
Yeah.
And when she entered the bedroom, she made a terrible discovery.
Well, she seen something look like it was crammed under the bed.
Yeah, because the bed was kind of propped up.
Yeah, with a computer monitor, which is weird.
Yeah. But she could see what appeared to be a bundle and a green comforter.
Yeah.
And when she pulled it out, she discovered Candace's body. Now, according to Dolores,
talk about a sick feeling.
Yeah, it was apparent that Candace had been shot many times. And she was even quoted as saying that 75% of her head was gone.
Good Lord.
Man. And almost nearly decapitated.
Yeah. So now, hang on. So if you go back to the neighbor who supposedly come over there and got the kid, where the hell was the blood and all that? I mean, if you go in the house and you see that,
yeah,
it's not like I'm just going to take the baby and hang on, wait till you get home. So I don't buy that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. But Dolores, she just fell to the floor and slumped over beside Candace's body and held her hand.
Oh my God.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
But 911 was called.
Yeah.
But there is a 911.
They still have never released it.
That's what I was going to say. It's never been released.
No.
So I'd like to listen to that.
Yeah.
Now the sheriff's department was contacted, and the 2 officers put in charge were Deputy Briscoe and Deputy Dodd.
Damn Deputy Dodd.
Yeah.
Why in the hell would, unless you got 2 deputies in your police force? Now I don't know how big this police force is, but it's got to be bigger, right? So I mean, they already had a confrontation. He's already had an issue with his family. Why in the hell would he be put as lead investigator on this?
Exactly.
Here we go.
But according to Dolores, it was flawed from the very beginning. And investigations suck, man. Yeah. It was shoddy according to Dolores.
Yeah, and that's been nice.
Yeah. There was a shoddy job of examining the crime scene, and they did not tape off the area or anything.
No, nothing.
Yeah. People could come and go as they pleased, and they didn't lock anything down.
No. Basically, I only think, from what I heard, they only took about 15 items out of the house.
Yeah.
And put them in a couple little envelopes, and that's all they took.
Yeah.
Because they said that after, all this stuff was done and they allowed them to come back into the house, when Dolores went home, the door wasn't even locked, no crime scene tape up or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
She went in the house, and there was the blanket that she was wrapped up in. They left, her bloody shirt was laying outside. The computer monitor was still there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's several major pieces of evidence that they didn't even take.
I know.
It's like, what the hell, people? I don't know.
But the sheriff's department, they determined right from the beginning of this that Candace had been murdered by her brother James.
See, this dude's got a hard on for James for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but it all goes back to that. Why he was looking for him to begin with.
Yeah.
And then they got into it, and then something happened to the dog, and then something happened to her, and then now he's showing up doing the investigation.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's just so messed up.
Yeah, he can just drive the car any way he wants to go if he's chief dog here,
Mm-hmm. But the sheriff's deputies, they searched the area, the wooded area around the house.
Yeah, looking for James.
Yeah.
He ain't even worried about documenting the crime scene.
No. That house was not locked down at all. It just burns me up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At all. I mean, and this was a hell of a scene.
Mm-hmm. There's not any pictures of this, but I can't even imagine the spatters of blood, because it was reported that Candace was killed in the living room. It was like, from the autopsy report that we're going to talk about a little bit later, it had to have been two people.
Well, it's,
from the direction of the bullets.
Well, yeah, I guess. I mean, I'm sure you could get around it, but that's what we're going to go with, because they're saying it was two different shooters.
Mm-hmm.
But this girl had her head blown off with a shotgun, and then shot several more times with reportedly a medium to small caliber handgun.
Yeah.
I mean, my God, there's got to be so much evidence in that house of just, I don't know.
Yeah, they didn't even pick up all the shell casings or anything.
No, she found shotgun shells in the baby crib.
Yeah.
Shell casings on the floor. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It is just ridiculous. And then we're not talking like this is 1935.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 2006, dude.
But while they were searching the surrounding area, sheriff's deputies and investigators found the missing dog, Jackson.
Yeah, and that was another thing, too. It was awful weird, because the family had been searching these woods for them a couple of days. This is only 3 days, I think.
3 days
before
yeah.
she was murdered that the dog disappeared.
Yeah.
And they had been searching these woods everywhere. And guess who found the dog?
Deputy Dodd.
Deputy Dodd.
And
it's basically like he walked out there, oh, look, here's the dog. And the dog had been tied up to a tree with a rope and then butchered using a small axe or a hatchet or something.
Yeah.
I mean, just hacked up.
Man.
My God. And that's pitiful.
So if you're not pissed off before, you're pissed off now.
Yeah. I'm pissed off.
Yeah.
This dude, I just don't understand at all.
Mm-hmm. Why would anybody kill a dog? And it made me wonder, too, if somebody killed the dog worrying that the dog might attack them. But I don't know. There's so many theories on this.
Why would you have to go take it and tie it up to a tree and hack it up with an axe?
Yeah. Yeah. Whoever done that they had a vendetta.
That's a cold, cold person.
Mm-hmm. But now there is another side of the story in which Candace's family found the dog.
Yeah.
But there's no evidence on that at all.
Yeah, I don't know. I heard that, but I don't know about that either. I think that's one of them. Somebody made that up.
But now, following up in their theory on the investigation, they began questioning the family in regard to James's whereabouts and known associates that James may have hung out with.
Like he's got associates. Man,
Yeah.
The man lives in a tent in the woods because he can't hang around his family.
He has social disorders. He don't like being around anybody.
Yeah, it's a giant, even been called like a serious phobia. It's so bad.
Yeah. He didn't like to be around anybody.
Yeah. I mean, would you live in a tent in the woods if you had plenty of friends? I mean, you'd live in your own house if you was, hanging out with people.
Yeah, and it had been known that James would steal things from neighbors and stuff.
Yeah, but just to live.
Yeah.
Not like her TV or something.
Yeah.
You know?
He was still like, stuff to live off of. Food and, I guess, tools and things like that.
Yeah, and he would come in their house, in his mom's house when they weren't home. He had a butter knife hid under the mat or the front step or something.
Yeah.
He would, and his mom knew he'd done it and gave him, permission to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But he just couldn't come in when other people were there.
Yeah.
So.
But the door.
So here it is again. They're just dead set on. So basically, they walked in the damn crime scene and went, "Oh, James did it. Let's get him.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the rest of this stuff, boys. We know who done it."
But that door that was busted in looked like it had been used with a crowbar.
Yeah, it was some kind of big pry bar or something that broke in, and it was the back door too.
Yeah. And so when James ever went in, he used that butter knife.
Yeah.
So that don't make any sense at all.
Yeah. So, and I'm sure they didn't know that, but I mean, hell, why would he take a crowbar and break in the damn back door? None of their reasoning makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
None.
Yeah. Now James
And it just gets worse.
Yeah. It has been noted that James had been in and out of the Colorado Mental Health Institute due to his illness. And according to his mom, Dolores, James suffered from severe issues.
Yeah.
I don't think he was associating with anyone.
No.
And it was also explained to investigators that James did not own any firearms, nor did he have any access to one.
Correct.
And between investigators and Dolores lasted over 4 hours following the examination of the crime scene. But the family were allowed back into the home, during which time Dolores made several discoveries.
Yeah, this is when she goes home and it ain't even locked or no tape or nothing.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. I mean to cut you off. It just pissed me off.
Yeah, and she started collecting stuff.
Yeah. She said the family went and bought gloves in some container, like plastic containers.
Yeah.
And started collecting evidence and documenting it and taking pictures of it, doing the damn police's job because it did such a shoddy job.
Mm-hmm.
I said shoddy.
Yep. And she also found bullet shells laying near the fireplace, the blood-soaked comforter in which Candace's body had been wrapped in.
You think about that.
It was still there.
That's the main piece of evidence in the whole case.
And
Because she didn't wrap herself up in the damn blanket.
No, The computer monitor that we talked about was blood-stained.
Somebody had to actually handle that to prop that bed up.
To get that body under there.
Yeah, which is kind of weird. And the whole thing about cramming her under the bed was kind of weird. Unless somebody had some kind of remorse after doing it, but the way they killed her, I don't see nobody having remorse over that. But
yep,
I mean that was brutal. It was like not just take her life; they made damn sure she was.
Yeah. And the family, they also found a bloody shirt that Candace had been wearing the day she was murdered.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't take anything.
No.
So they took about, like you said, about 15 things.
15 things, a couple, and put those in a couple envelopes. They took a piece of paneling and I think a scrap of carpet.
Yeah.
And nothing else. What the hell?
So, like I said, if you're not pissed off, you are now.
You think about it, I mean, the blanket, dude, that...
Yeah. I mean, that is, like you said, that's the key piece.
She didn't put herself in it.
Mm-mm. Now, Dolores went down to the sheriff's department demanding answers as to why they left all this stuff behind. And she was asked to speak to Sheriff Jim Beaker.
Beaker.
Yeah, Beaker.
Like on the Muppet Show.
Yeah. Or Detectives Dodd or Briscoe that was in charge. And she was brushed off and told that they were just too busy.
Too damn busy?
Yeah.
Boy, I'm tell you what. I would tore her somebody's.
But she insisted on staying until someone would speak to her.
Yeah, they sent some young officer out to talk to her later. Because nobody ever called her back to talk to her. What the hell? It's shoddy. I mean, these dudes are hiding something big time.
But it was sometime later that Deputy Briscoe arrived back at the home with a search warrant and asked for the container of evidence.
So why in the hell would he need a search warrant? Unless that's just legal covering my ass to get it.
Yeah, knowing they didn't get it the first time.
Yeah. I mean, she's up here raising hell. Why didn't you take this stuff? And then he shows up, we got a search warrant. Can I get that stuff?
Mm-hmm. Now, on August the 18th, this was 3 days after the murder, James Hilt was found, and he was camping out in the rugged Copper Gulch Iron Mountain area.
Yeah. And
this is just southwest of Canyon City.
Well, they had them statements out. Searchers said, he was warning this guy is armed and dangerous and could be carrying a rifle or a .22 caliber rifle and all this mess.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you, man, it's all about trying to get him for some reason. I don't know what this dude has done or what they thought he done, but it seems like the whole thing is trying to lay it on him.
And he was hit with charges for theft and criminal mischief, according to the sheriff's department. And they believe that James broke into a home from which he stole hatchets and flashlights. And get this, he was held on a $500,000 bond, a $500,000 bond for stealing a hatchet and a flashlight.
Yeah, well, for first and second degree burglary crime or charges.
That is just so insane.
You know, he never has been charged or anything, and he's still listed probably to this day as a prime suspect.
Yeah.
Now they probably just done that so they could put him in custody and probably try to stick him in a mental ward.
Yeah, try to get something out of him.
Yeah, you know, he was found not guilty on that by reason of insanity, but the only reason he pleaded that was his lawyer told him to do it. Then they remanded him to Colorado Mental. You know.
Yeah, mental hospital.
Yeah, which he went there anyway to whenever he thought he needed to. So I know the guy's got problems, but he's not your guy, dude.
Yeah. But there was an 11-page autopsy report, and it was released, which showed that Candace was brutally murdered with very malicious intent, according to the report. And Candace was shot a total of 7 times, 6 in the head and 1 in the chest. This is according to the autopsy report. And it also revealed that not but 3 guns were used, and a shotgun with a medium caliber, like Dale mentioned earlier, and a small caliber handgun was also noted that Candace had been shot, both in the front and back. And the autopsy specified that Candace had been shot in the head from the front with the shotgun, then 5 times in the back with a smaller caliber gun.
He shot once in the chest with a medium caliber gun.
That's what the report says.
The report says, yeah. First of all, I don't know about all this. I don't know how they could tell. I mean, if she only had 25% of a head, I mean, how you gonna know?
Yeah, you don't know. I mean, that's a daggum good.
The shotgun blast, I can see you could probably figure that out, but some of that other, I don't know. And I think it's a big discrepancy whether it was 3 guns or 2 guns.
Yeah, but Dolores was pretty angry and disagreed with many of the details of the report, and Dolores contradicts several items listed in the autopsy report, stating that it's all smoke and mirrors.
Yeah. And
you
know, and they were saying that the path of the bullets were steeply downward, like somebody was standing on the couch, and that doesn't make sense to me neither.
Yeah.
And you know, they were saying the blood splatter and trajectories of the bullets, and we're saying that, you know, like you said, there was a couple people, and then sometime was shot simultaneously. Well, that doesn't make any sense to me, because I mean, I'm thinking if we're going to shoot somebody and I'm standing in front of them with a shotgun, then I'm going to shoot them in the head. How about you stand behind them and you shoot them in the back while I shoot them in the head?
We'll put her between us and shoot.
Yeah. I got a shotgun. What can go wrong?
Exactly.
Come on, man. And, you know, she's a very, very short girl, 5'2". And this stuff about standing on the sofa to make since the trajectories were in line with that, maybe she was bent over, you know, or maybe
down on her knees or something.
Yeah, exactly, or on her knees or something. Now, only thing that I could even come up with halfway to make up why you would stand on something would be to disguise your own height. But I don't know. What are you gonna do? Wait a minute, I'm gonna climb up on the couch over here and shoot you.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. This is just this whole damn thing.
And there's even one investigative report that states that Candace's ex-boyfriend, the baby daddy, came and
killed her.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
But nobody even knows his name.
No, I don't. And I don't even know if she even told who the daddy was.
Right. I mean, it's not like she's out to try to get money from him. She wasn't. There was no child support dispute, and his name was not even known. And hell, as far as we know, the daddy might not even know he had a kid. You know what I mean?
That's very true.
Because nothing's ever been mentioned of him. You know, maybe they raised him on their own and that's the way they wanted it. So then that could be by choice or not by, you know, the dad might not even know, like I said. So that's out. I don't believe that. Why the hell would he come over and shoot her?
Yeah.
For no reason.
Yeah, it don't make any sense.
No, this whole damn thing don't make any sense.
And even Dolores thinks that Candace had what they call death tremors, because she saw a wavy blood pattern on the doorway in the like down the hallway toward the bedroom.
Why would they drag her back through the house?
I don't know. And Dolores even discovered some towels in the laundry that were on the top of the dryer that had been used by one of the assailants to clean themselves off.
There's more evidence.
Yeah. Now, DNA tests were run on the towels, and it was found to be that of an unknown male, not a family member. Even these specific details of the case were debated, and it's difficult to determine which is accurate of all these.
So the only DNA that they run was definitely not a family member.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
A male, not family member. So they did. I guess they didn't check no shell casings and try to match it up with anybody's deputy's gun.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just this.
Yeah. Or bullets or anything like that, or
yeah.
They didn't try to match anything up. Nothing was done.
Nothing. I mean, hell, they left out all at the scene.
Mm-hmm. But after Candace's death, Dolores took over raising Paige, but Paige ended up dying 6 years, 1 month, and 3 days after Candace.
Right.
But Dolores is quoted as saying that she believes they are together again.
Mm.
And it's always like a nightmare that never ends.
Yeah, it's pretty sad. That baby they was worried about she shouldn't even live, and she outlived her mom.
Yeah, that's crazy. But Dolores filed a formal complaint with the State Attorney General's office alleging mismanagement of the crime scene. And she provided photographs she took of all this stuff and put forth a theory that one of the members of the Fremont County Sheriff's Department may have been involved in Candace's murder.
Well, I don't know if one of them was directly involved, but if this guy was paying off drug dealers, he had plenty of people in his pocket he could have to do stuff.
Yeah. But this case just it sat still for many years after that. Nothing happened.
Yeah.
Up until December of 2016, which wasn't too long ago, in which we're going to talk about a guy named Rick Ratzlaff. Now, he was a former streetcar racer, and he had an extensive history of a lot of negative
interactions with the police.
Yeah, he put it mildly.
So they knew who he was, basically.
Oh, yeah, they had some run-ins together. Now, he had shown up at a mini storage area.
Yeah, Dawson Ranch mini storage.
Yeah, they were auctioning off some units that nobody had paid for. They'd quit paying on their bill, and they were going to auction them off.
Like Storage Wars or whatever it is.
Yeah. But he had shown up there to bid on them, and they opened the door, and you can't go in and look, but you can sort of look from the outside to see what's in there.
Yeah.
And he was looking at one, and he saw one that had some...
like police car lights.
Yeah, and he saw them in there and said, I'd like to have one of them. So that's one of the reasons he started bidding on it.
Mm-hmm.
And he ended up buying that storage unit for $50.
$50.
And he didn't have any idea what would be in there. But they got to going through it, and they found, get this, shell casings, hatchets, and what really got him was bloody clothes.
Yeah, and a big envelope said evidence on it.
Yeah. And he also found a piece of rope and blood-soaked socks.
Mm-hmm.
And he also found the lights off of police cars.
And he kept digging, and they found some uniforms.
Yeah, that had the name of, get this,
Deputy Dodd.
Yeah.
God almighty.
Yeah, name on the uniform.
Sewn onto the uniform.
Yeah. And it was his unit.
Yeah. And after they got to checking into it, he was the one who had the unit and had let it lapse and didn't pay for it.
Yeah.
All this stuff in there that had to be stolen out of the police basement, the storage basement.
Yeah. But Rick Ratzlaff immediately contacted Sheriff Beaker, who admitted that he believed the evidence found was from the investigation into Candace Hiltz.
Well, when he first said he had it, they come to him and said, so here you have a storage unit that used to be an officer's. And he said, yeah. He said, well, can we get it? He goes, well, I don't know about that. And he goes, well, just so you know, your life could be in danger.
What the heck?
Right off the bat.
Yeah. That's almost like a threat.
Yeah, almost.
Well, it is a threat, yeah.
He didn't go, well, you got a dog? I mean, if we could start there.
Yeah.
But damn, this dude's...
Yeah.
This Deputy Dodd, man, he's a shady dude.
Yeah, all the way around.
Even some members of Dodd's family had contacted Ratzlaff through Facebook Messenger and offered to buy back the contents, saying that they had some childhood memories in there and he wanted to get them.
Yeah, which I kind of get that in a way.
Yeah, well,
pictures and whatnots.
Pictures and bloody clothes, axes, that kind of thing.
Yeah, family mementos.
Yeah,
yeah.
Some of your conquests.
But time went by, and Ratzlaff hadn't responded back to him because I guess he's not on Facebook that much. That's what he said.
That's what he said.
And didn't get the message.
Yep. So he was getting harassed other ways.
Mm-hmm.
They even impounded his vehicles.
Yeah. This is when Rick Ratzlaff and his wife Erin, they went to the sheriff.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, they felt threatened by their earlier conversation about their harassment. And Rick, he asked his wife Erin to secretly record the conversation.
I ended up going to a storage auction on December 17th, and the weather was really bad. I wasn't going to go, and something kept telling me I needed to go. I got a call from Biker, the sheriff. Yeah, he called me and said that I heard you got a unit with things in it, evidence, and I said, yeah. I kind of explained a few items to him, and he said it was a case that he knew, and that my life could be in danger, kind of made it kind of like a threat that I needed to give him everything in there that pertained to the murder case. So I went up there, and I had my ex-wife record in there, and just the panic he had. He was sweating pretty hard and nervous. Deer in the headlight look, but at the same time trying to butter me up. I just went along with it.
Oh man, this is odd. Rick's being real cooperative. He said we could take that and look at all this stuff. I don't know if we sit here and do it up here right now. How do you want to go about it?
They're not supposed to take evidence home. Something's not right.
You're not even a cop, and
that was kind of discerning.
Well, could I ask you this?
It's here.
Okay, if you give me a truce here for your other complaints against us, would you be willing to let us
go through it all? Yeah.
They stepped outside to talk about what they would do, how they would handle this. And they were out there a little bit, came back in and said, what we're going to do is call CBI, and I want you to leave this locker open. Just close the door, don't lock it. And I will post an officer here to watch it until CBI can come and pick up all the evidence.
Let us get our head together, because it's kind of
yeah.
So thanks for giving us some time.
So we drove away, and about 10 minutes later he had called, and he wanted to know the code to the gate to get out. She got a key and a code. So I was like, well, that's weird. I gave him the code, and he's like, okay, thanks, and hung up. I told my ex-wife, I said, they didn't have an officer there, and they didn't have CBI come that quick from Pueblo. He went in there and took everything, I told her. So we immediately drove right back up there, and we went in the gate and went to the unit. I opened up the door, and everything was turned upside down in there, and the evidence was gone.
Briefly looked at the items that remained in the storage unit, and I immediately contacted the Colorado Bureau of Investigations regarding the matter. With their consultation and cooperation, they asked myself and Captain Worley to catalog and to photograph the items that were in the unit, and to collect them and secure them and bring them to the sheriff's office to place in our evidence lockers. On January 3rd, they agreed and sent 2 agents to meet me here at the sheriff's office, and I turned the entire matter over to the Colorado Bureau of Investigations for further investigation. As a result of that, investigation, we have placed Lieutenant Robert Dodd with the Fremont County Sheriff's Office on routine administrative leave pending the outcome of that investigation. And because it's active, as you all understand, until they're able to complete their investigation, we will not be releasing any further information until they've had a chance to do that.
But now Sheriff Beaker, he contacted the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, and he photographed the items before placing them into evidence and handed them over to the CBI, who would be taking over the case. In regard to Dodd, he was placed on routine administrative leave pending the outcome of this investigation.
He should be put in jail.
Yeah, he should be put under the jail.
Administrative leave. I mean, the stuff in that locker should be enough to put him in.
Yeah.
It didn't just get there itself.
Yeah. And no one from the CBI or the Sheriff's Department informed the family about the evidence, and they learned it from the media.
Yeah, the axe and the rope were from the dog killing.
Yeah. And it was in the storage.
They were from the dog killing. Y'all hear me, people?
In this personal storage unit.
Personal storage unit, the bloody rope and the axe from the damn dog killing.
But Dolores believed the discovery of this evidence in Officer Dodd's storage unit, it just reinforced her belief that he had been involved.
Yeah, and this should vindicate James right away. You know,
Yeah.
They should say, well, you need to get off his ass because look at this. I mean, it's a whole pile of stuff here.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, you know, this is 10 years. You know, they've been getting blamed, basically.
Yeah, James was getting blamed for this.
Yeah, 10 years.
Mm-hmm. As a key suspect.
Right. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. But it believed that, Dolores believed anyway, that Officer Dodd had stole the evidence from the basement of the sheriff's office.
Yeah.
And he did it to either protect himself or someone else.
You know, and I mean, I don't know, hadn't been in this police station, but I don't know, you always see most time they have to have evidence checked out or signed out or somebody knows it's gone. I mean,
It's under lock and key.
So, you know, I mean, I don't know what kind of Mickey Mouse police station or police force they got out there, but dude, it's just like, well, come on in and grab you a bucket of stuff, take it home with you.
Keystone Cops.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad is what it is. That whole damn place needs to be gutted and redone.
Now, the Fremont County Attorney, Brenda Jackson, stated that the Sheriff's Department, that disclosure of records would be contrary to the public's interest as the records are part of the criminal justice investigative files and are actively being reviewed by law enforcement agencies in connection with the investigation. And a second request was filed in February and again denied later in February.
Well, this is ridiculous. I mean, and the autopsy report you were reading from a while ago was only released now, this 10 years later.
Yeah, 10 years.
And it only came out because the media started digging in and trying to file for, you know, requests to get stuff, but they still won't release the 911 call. Now, how can that, you know, have vital information in it unless it's just something to make the cops look even worse?
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, it's not going to have something that's going to blow up their investigation because there's not an investigation anyway. So
now, on January the 31st of 2017, the Fremont County Sheriff's Department, they denied the daily records request for the 911 transcripts.
Right.
Now, get this. On April the 23rd of 2017, Officer Robert Dodd retires from the Fremont County Sheriff's Office.
Oh.
Yeah. Now, on May the 4th of 2017, this is just like a week later, the District Attorney's Office files charges against Deputy Dodd, which includes 2 counts of second-degree official misconduct and abuse of public records.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And additional evidence allegedly belonging to Dodd was discovered in a Penrose landfill.
Yeah, I think he had taken a dumpster from where he lived, and when they got there, they said they always have to go through all the dumpsters, you know, for hazmat reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when they started finding some items in this dumpster.
And when they found the stuff, they found a computer, an envelope marked evidence that contained a DVD video labeled as containing sexual assault investigation interview, and a tackle box marked Fremont County Sheriff's Office Crime Scene Unit Forensic Lights.
Yeah, and a big fat envelope with what looked like criminal investigation paperwork in it.
Yeah.
I mean,
in the landfill, man.
In the landfill.
Yeah, this Deputy Dodd, man, he's a piece of work.
Yeah, that wasn't what I'd say.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit.
That's what he is.
Yeah, he is.
That's being nice.
Yep. Now, this Orton guy that found the stuff in the landfill, he contacted the district attorney's office but received no response.
Yeah.
So he reached out to Rick Ratzlaff, who was the guy that bought the storage unit, who in turn contacted Tracy Harmon, who was a reporter for the Pueblo Chieftain. And Harmon arrived at the landfill, and according to her statement, as I reached the front of the gate, I tried to contact District Attorney Molly Chilson to alert her about the evidence. I got her cell phone voicemail and left a message. And it was at this point Harmon worked in conjunction with Orton at collecting the evidence. Among the debris was an envelope marked as evidence that contained the DVD.
Yeah, all this stuff we were just talking about, man.
Yeah.
It's, the tackle box and the sexual assault investigation interview and all this stuff. He just threw it in the damn landfill.
Now, Sheriff's Office Sergeant Detective Megan Richards said in an email that she has no official knowledge of the events reported to the Chieftain articles. Now, on June 6, 2017, Officer Dodd, well, he's not officer anymore, he's just Robert Dodd, he was to appear for his court date, but instead his attorney, Randy Jorgensen, appeared in place of him, setting a date for a pretrial conference on July the 17th, which was 2 days later. Now, on June 8th, District Attorney Chilson announced that a second investigation was being launched by the Colorado Bureau of Investigation to examine the evidence and examine recovered from the Primrose landfill on Wednesday, August 30th. Dodd was scheduled for a pretrial conference but only appeared via telephone at that time. His attorney made it known to the court that the district attorney's office had placed a plea bargain on the table.
Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah, and he stated that he would be discussing the plea bargain with his client, but their discussion was based partially on whether or not more charges were issued.
Yeah, and Dolores was in the courtroom that day, and she was just disgusted, that a deal was even being offered. Nobody's doing anything, and nothing was going to be done regarding to her daughter's murder.
Yeah,
it's pitiful.
Yep. Let me just run down some numbers for you, Dale.
Okay.
Now, during the calendar year of 2017, the Fremont County Sheriff's Office paid nearly $90,000 to 10 sheriff's officers while they were on paid administrative leave. Yep.
$89,954.82 to be exact.
Yeah. Robert Dodd received $20,451 while on leave between January 1st and April 23rd that year.
4 months.
Yeah. And Bruce Briscoe was paid $18,904.81 while on leave under the investigation. That's crazy. And it just goes on down. There were several others that lesser dollar amounts, but that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
All these officers are out on paid leave.
Yeah.
$90,000+.
Wasted.
That's your tax money, people.
Yeah. This dude got $20,000 for 3 months.
Yeah.
I know for some people that might not be a lot, but to me that sounds like a lot of money.
Yeah.
Especially when you're out because you're guilty as hell.
Mm-hmm. And Candace's brother James, I mean, he was sitting in a mental health hospital.
Yeah.
During this time.
And anytime he had a chance to get out, the deputies would all show up and say, "Don't let him out. He's still a suspect in his sister's murder."
Yeah.
While this cat's at home.
They made sure they showed up.
Yeah, getting thousands of dollars.
Yeah. Now, because of all this, there was alleged corruption of the sheriff's department.
Really?
Yeah. And the public led an outcry that Jim Beaker, the sheriff, had been referred to as a cover-up king.
Yeah, they were trying to get rid of him.
Yeah, between 2011 and 2015.
Right.
And between that time, the inmate deaths at the county jail more than doubled.
Doubled?
Yeah.
Felony cases had also doubled?
Yes.
And a petition had been raised to remove the sheriff. And basically saying, from including the harassment of Rick Ratzlaff when they impounded all his cars, the murder of Candace, and actually in a missing federal agent.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how does a federal agent go missing?
Exactly.
It's just a lot of mess here.
Mm-hmm.
The death of inmate John Patrick Walter when she was named in the defendant in a wrongful death lawsuit. The sheriff was named as, the defendant.
And it was also a wrongful death lawsuit in the case of Christy Humphrey. She was a daycare worker who was charged with neglect, resulting in the death of a child there. And there were numerous reports of neglect and safety violations, none of which were followed up by the sheriff's department. And this Christy Humphreys happens to be married to a police officer. And finally, the Canyon City High School sexting scandal, in which 351 sexually explicit images of minors were being passed around by students of the high school. At least 106 of these students were found to have child pornography on their phones, and no charges were ever filed.
Not one.
Mm-mm.
Not
so there's some shitty stuff going on at the Fremont County Sheriff's Office.
Yeah.
I mean, they just need to clean house. But all this, that evidence is in that locker is contaminated.
Yeah, so they can't use it.
They can't use it at all.
And pretty much anything that the Lords gave them, they would also say, it would have been, contaminated, whether it had been or not. Even though we had the trouble to go get gloves and bag it and tag it and put it in plastic bins for them, they still would say, there was no sealed crime scene.
Yeah. Now on March the 4th of 2020, Officer Dodd had been found guilty of abuse of public records.
Boy, they're going to get him right there.
From 2018, in which 2 counts of official misconduct. And this was in regards to the storage locker under his name containing the evidence. And he is scheduled to serve 15 days in jail.
15 days.
Yeah, 15 whole days.
Yeah.
And he's appealed that.
Yeah, I think they initially gave him, 180 days?
Yeah.
And then they cut his sentence down to 15. Yeah, and he appealed it.
Yeah. So this whole county is corrupt in my book.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I don't think James has never actually been charged with anything to do with Candace's murder.
No.
But he does remain at the top of the sheriff's suspect list. He was sent to the Colorado Mental Health Institute, and it has been reported that he enjoys staying there. He does some counseling and stuff there. So maybe he has made some progress. And
yeah, trying to counsel other people,
yeah, maybe a little bit more social around people.
None of this makes sense, man. I mean, all the way back to the autopsy and being a couple people shot simultaneously and all this. How in the hell can you tell that? I mean, it's just a lot of. It seems like every fact that they come up with made no sense.
I know.
And any chance that they had of getting actual facts, they didn't care to even pick up. So it's just, this whole damn case is just baffling to me. It makes no sense to me at all. None of it. And the poor girl was a brilliant, young, beautiful girl. Who knows, man, what she could have done with that brain that she had.
I know.
And then they just go in there and splattered all over the damn wall for nothing. Killed a dog, and this dude's got to be, he's neck deep in it, and there ain't no way you can make me believe otherwise.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, does he volunteer to go be head of the damn investigative task force and rolls up? If I was her mom, I'd take a shovel and beat him to death when he pulled up in the yard.
Yeah. In my eyes, Robert Dodd is a number one suspect.
Yeah.
Candace threatened him. I mean, she knew something.
Yeah, now, that was, I think, going back to that, it was kind of a hearsay, that her mom said that she said it, but why would she make it up? Maybe she did say it, who knows? But, I mean, something set him off. Like we said, he just kind of pissed off and walked out. I've never seen that before. When the police come to interrogate / interview somebody about something, they're going to ask questions they get tired of asking and then leave.
Yeah.
It's not going to be, I'm pissed off and just stomp out of the house.
He's pissed off.
Pissed off, man. And then he gets nothing for it. A couple days. And then he living in somewhere in Texas now, I think. Yeah.
But this case is still ongoing, and the Colorado Bureau of Investigation has taken over the case.
So, what are they going to do?
Yeah. I mean, all the evidence is tampered.
Yeah.
There's a lot of YouTube videos on this, and different things you can watch, and other podcasts have covered this. But we wanted to do it to keep this case in the spotlight.
When you see Deputy Dodge's smackable face, you'll know it.
Yeah.
It definitely is.
Yeah. He's a piece of work, man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. We're going to get out of here.
All right. We need to go. I got to decompress.
All right. We want everyone to be safe, be careful, and always be aware of your surroundings.
Because the next episode could be about you.
This is the Crack House Chronicles.